It's like those hot mean girls
Mm-hmm.
where they think that it's just they're doing you a favor.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're 80 and your nuts touch the water when you go poop and she's in her 20s, she is doing you a favor and you fucking deserve it. But if we're talking about just a normal age range and a normal dating situation, then that's not a good thing. Welcome back and happy Tuesday, turkeys.
Happy Tuesday, turkey tots.
I wish they could have heard your pre-record noise.
I don't even know what I did.
Oh, it's your situating noise. Ooh.
It's been a long day and I kind of sunk into my seat and yeah, exacerbated.
To your credit, that couch is not the most comfortable.
No, it's not. Thank you for acknowledging.
No, it's really horrific. I have a lot of empathy.
First world
It's
problems.
very cute, but
Thank you.
not functional for the butt cheeks. I also look like I have raccoon eyes, but reverse. I feel like there's a sunglasses tan.
Oh, is it just a wind tan or a suntan?
Oh, true that. Could be a wind tan. Okay. Let's do it, dude. First of all, happy spring equinox.
Happy spring equinox.
The days are getting longer. The nights are getting shorter. It's getting warmer. I love winter and I love the evenings shut in up and until this point. Like I'm ready for the change.
Yes, it's time. And I do believe because we live in the South now, it feels more in line because the seasons do feel like it's changing. Today was 80 degrees.
Whoa.
Yeah. So unlike Wisconsin, we hit spring equinox and it still could be a snowstorm.
It's true. It's just that glimmer of hope that summer is coming. It's not that warm here, but maybe that's a sign that it will be this weekend if it's that warm by you.
Yes.
Please. Because spring break is in full-fledged. And let me tell you, I was in a jacket and long pants and people were at the beach in their swimming suits today at like 60 degrees.
Well, yeah, because 60 degrees feels amazing and hot compared to 20.
It's true. I completely understand it. And I would have been them if I were in their shoes. But it's still so weird when you look at how much you've adjusted. And then also spring break is in full force because as we were riding back, a car was driving down a bike lane. Like a sidewalk.
Oh.
Like a pedestrian biking, walking path to the side of the road.
People get crazy on spring break.
Hey, turkeys, real quick, we want to tell you about our fun new free craft corner. Every quarter, in line with the equinox or solstice, we are going to send out new farts and crafts projects. You can find the link in the show notes. Just drop us your email. We promise not to spam you, but we'd love for you to join us. Now back to the show.
So as promised, we had discussed the red flags of men. We've talked about stereotypes on the internet. We've talked about what we would be in various scenarios. And this week we are bringing you the red flags of those who date women.
Can't wait. Because it goes both ways. That's for damn sure.
It does. And I think we both inquired from some men. I put some blasts on the social media to try to get some feedback from them and then put down from a female perspective what I think guys should watch out for. So I'm excited to get started.
I am too.
Do you want to start with our outside input?
Yeah, let's do it, dude.
Okay. I started with Jason because he's easy. I didn't even have to ask him because I just know these two from our life together because he said them so many times. He said so many times. Anyway, he has forever and always said that a red flag to him is when a woman drinks Mick Ultra.
Oh, like
the
Michelob
beer.
Ultra?
Like Michelob Ultra.
Oh, Mick. I've never heard it say Mick Ultra. Okay. Interesting. Why is that?
Because he said every crazy woman he's ever known drinks Michelob Ultra.
Oh, no. I have plenty of times drink Michelob Ultra. Pass that along to Jason. I hope I'm not crazy.
Well, what's funny is that one of our friends Allison also drinks it. And the first time Jason saw that, he was like, oh no, she's breaking my stereotype. Because Allison's like the most grounded, down to earth, just kind person. I don't know what it is or where that came from and what part of his life, but he still holds true that the majority of women that drink Michelob Ultra should at least raise enough of a red flag that you ask more questions.
That is too funny.
And then his second one is any woman that cries every time she gets drunk.
That is a fantastic answer. Oh, 1000%.
Or not even, it's like a little bit tipsy and then there's tears.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, there's unaddressed issues that need to be worked out with a therapist, and I don't want to be the stand-in.
I was just going to say, there's very big underlying issues there if that's a couple drinks make you bawl in public, especially in public.
Yeah, and there's one woman in particular that we don't know well. I just know via association, and it is her. Every time we see her out, because we like recognize her, she's an ex of somebody that he sort of knew. Every time, 10 out of 10 times we've seen her out, and if it's like past a certain time of night where you figure there have been a few drinks had, tears.
Oh no, that's stressful. Any other from Jason?
No, those are his top two.
Oh my gosh. Okay, here's my outside feedback. I don't remember which one's which, so we're just gonna go down the line. It's a red flag if she's got a butterface. I think the context behind this is like if she's got too much confidence because she's got a good body and it's not reflective on the top, and it's like overconfidence, and it's it's not the whole package, it's just too much.
Amazing, and not what I was expecting.
Freaking funny, dude. The next one is when she asks you for money early on, which I agree with. It's one of those things. If you're in a long-term relationship and you've discussed finances and things like that, but if you're really early on in a relationship or on a first date and she's asking for money or implying that you're gonna pay for everything, big turnoff. So I agree with that one completely.
So does our friend Grimace of YouTube.
Oh, okay, Grimace.
Because I put a video out asking for feedback, and that was one of his responses. He said, I put these in quotes because I typed them out verbatim, but he said, also biggest red flag is a woman asking to borrow money. Sounds really weird, but it's fairly common, at least with the low quality babes I attract. And then he put a shrugging emoji.
That's valid. That's not good.
It is. And I'm almost 100% sure he's from Australia. I think that's what he said last time he made a comment on something. So this is true across the globe.
Ladies everywhere, stop doing that.
Quit mooching. Oh, okay. I'll skip down to other people I know. I asked 2 of my guy friends from my old job because I knew they would tell it to me straight. So I'm sure Tyler doesn't mind me saying his name, but Tyler gave me a list, which cracked me up. And then Jordan gave me one fairly vague answer. And I asked him to clarify, and his clarifying didn't help me at all. But I know what he's saying. I just was trying to get him to give me an example, but it didn't work. Anyway, Jordan said the way they talk and the way that their eyes are during a conversation, you can tell pretty quickly who has issues.
Crazy eyes. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, that is a thing for sure.
But that leads me to jumping ahead. One of my red flags that I would tell guys to pay attention to is that if your friends, especially your guy friends that are healthy, have a bad feeling about a girl, you need to listen to them, because likely you're not noticing the crazy eyes because you've been blinded / biased from the sex cloud, and they're seeing without the penile influence.
Mm-hmm. It's a good advice.
But I was jumping around a little bit, but that was from Jordan. And he is right. You can look at somebody's eyeballs, and I'm sure numerous religions say they're the window to the soul, and they're not lying. Excuse me. Tyler's list cracked me up. The first thing he told me was felony convictions. It's like, thank you. Then he said if they say they've never been in a serious relationship, because in his words, they're usually very socially awkward. I know some of these are probably age-based, but Tyler's close to my age. He's a little bit younger, just for context. He said if they talk way too much about material things. And then last but not least for him, he said if they're a bartender or a hostess. And then in parentheses, he put at this stage in my life.
Oh my gosh, that's good.
Which I think is valid in that your work hours and her work hours can't be diametrically opposed.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're not going to have the same stuff.
And I'm picturing a very specific type of female bartender. And hours aside, that just may not be a good call. You know?
I think there's a lot of young ones that are still in a wild phase. The whole service industry is a different animal. But I also recognize that there are very responsible ladies and gentlemen that work in that field that don't want to leave it because they're making bank.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely get what he's saying, especially for people who still want to stay up late and party and get off at 3 and have drinks. And I think there's days he goes into work at like 4 a.m, so it's just not going to vibe.
Right. No.
Ooh.
Was that
What
his
else
list?
you got?
Okay. So red flag is if she asks me how much money I make.
I had that one.
In the beginning, you know?
Right out the gate.
Or exactly. Because even if you're in a long-term relationship, you're not going to be sitting there, I have a question. How much money do you make? Obviously, it comes up in conversation. You have to talk about important things like finances, but right off the gate, like, how much money do you make? That's kind of sketchy. It's very sketchy.
We didn't discuss that until we were at the point that we were ready to get a joint account. And even then, I mean, separate accounts, but get a joint account together to start to pay some together bills once we were living together.
Yeah.
You could have deduced that I made no money because I worked at Starbucks. But yeah, that would be aggressive.
Yeah, I think it was 3 or 4 years until we kind of delved into kind of what was going on so we could figure some stuff out. And we moved in together as well. So yeah, that makes sense. The other one is she has all guy friends and no girlfriends. Yep. Which, hey, we've talked about it. I do think that men are funnier. I like being in a group of friends and the guys are making jokes. Like, it's funny. My mom grew up with all brothers. Like, I like that atmosphere. But when I do one-on-one hangouts, or if I'm going to go to dinner with my girlfriend, or I'm going to go get a pedicure with a friend, I'm not going with a guy. That's not okay in my book.
I think this directly connects to 2 of mine. Before I forget one of them that I didn't write down, I think it's a red flag no matter what if the person, okay, this is only if you're straight, because I think things get different in other realms. But if you're straight, I think that it's weird if your best friend is the opposite gender. At a certain point, if you're early on dating and somebody has a guy that's a best friend, I kind of get it, but I also still feel weird about it if he's also straight.
No, I agree. Because if he's your best friend, then there's got to be some kind of more to that, even if it's an inkling.
And even if there isn't, which I have a hard time believing there isn't, it feels like it'll be an issue.
It feels a little disrespectful. I don't know how to put that into words, but yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird one. It's a weird one because I worked in a male-dominated field and Jason kind of worked in a female-dominated field. And for my work, I mean, I was one-on-one with a guy a lot, which meant we were going out and eating lunch. There were tons of times I went on trainings for work out of the area and went out to dinner one-on-one with one of my coworkers. And it was never weird for Jason. But we were very upfront with each other. And he knew all of my guy coworkers too. And so, there was not a threat involved with that. But now that I don't work with him and we're not somewhere that's still work related, I don't know. It's hard because we were coworkers and we are so up in each other's butts and you rely on each other in a different way when you're doing that kind of work. But
Yep.
I still would probably tell him, like, hey, we're going to go grab lunch. And
Oh,
he would
yeah.
do the same if it were one of his female nurse coworkers, and he's done that before, and I don't feel weird about it. But outside of a work context, if he just had a, like, we're good female friends at a certain point in our relationship, I'd be like, do you have to by yourself? Can there be someone else?
Yeah. No, I don't. No.
Oh, my other one of that. I think what you said made sense of saying that she only has guy friends, but I think it's a little bit to get to the root of the issue that I think is a major red flag is if she says any of the following: I don't like women, I don't get along with women, or other women don't like me.
That is a good one. That's a good one.
Because that's indicative of usually, I think, self-conscious issues and jealousy issues or something. There's something going on. Ladies
You're
need
so
ladies
right.
and guys need guys.
That's a really good one. Okay, so if you're at a restaurant, especially on a first date, as a married couple, I steal Kenny's food. I ask him, I'm like, can I have a bite? Oh, he knows now. He's just like, here, take a bite, because I always want to try his. But if you're on a first date, I feel like it's a little turn offish if she just takes your food without asking and then proceeds to do things like belch or burp or,
I
just
know for sure
or
who
fart.
said this.
Yeah, So, yeah. Like all those things. I mean, obviously it's human behavior and it happens and it's different again in a long-term relationship if you're not being like annoying about it. But on a first date, it's like if you can't contain yourself for a first date and you're just gonna belch and fart and steal my food and be like too much, it's like it's a turn off.
Totally tracks. I do agree too that there's some level of manners and politeness if you're on a date, especially in public, especially at a restaurant, that I wouldn't want a guy farting loudly in a restaurant on a first date either. And if you're going to burp, because I guess I can't stop myself, you at least cover your mouth and try to keep your mouth closed and say, excuse me. I'm sure I burped on our first date because we had beer.
It's different though, but you know what kind of.
I know the mannerisms that he's describing. And the food thing feels sort of like a boundary deal. So I would ask, can I try a bite of that? Or can I try a piece? Definitely versus reaching over and grabbing off of someone's plate you don't know.
Hell no.
I get that.
Hell no.
I wouldn't like that either. Yeah. Now I tell him I'm excising a snack tax and I always steal a fry or something.
I like that.
Dude, I do that to him when I make him sandwiches sometimes. Because if I make him a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for work, sometimes it looks really good to me when I'm making it. So I'll cut the sandwich in half so there's two pieces. Actually, what I'll do is I'll cut a sliver out of the middle to eat myself. But it looks like it's just two pieces.
That is so funny. Okay, just a quick bounce off of that. I will, when we have mangoes, you know how you cut them? I cut them on both sides. So there's two halves. And then you have the pit with quite a bit of stuff around it because you just can't cut perfectly. And I always cut them and I give Kenny one half and I take the other half. And then I say, the pit's my cutting feet. And I like take all the fruit around the pit. So.
Yeah. Comes with the territory, man. That's so funny.
Oh my gosh. The only other feedback I had was just if she says, I love you on the first date.
Oof. How did we not think of that?
I know. Too much. Crazy. She probably got the crazy eyes too.
I know exactly what kind of perfume that girl's wearing.
Yeah.
Okay. I just thought of 500 more red flags that I didn't write down. So I posted this on just as a question, a reel, a TikTok thing, whatever you call them, online. And I knew we were going to get different answers based upon the platform because TikTok is a lot more love and light sometimes and more woke, and YouTube the ones we attract tend to be some very angry men. So I posted one today, and the guy's handle was The Future's Wealth, which, no offense, guy, but your name makes me feel like you are trying to sell me crypto and an online subscription to your class, which I'm just not going to do. Maybe not. Maybe not. His first comment, and I put this in quotes because this is how he typed it: unintelligent. Can't tell you how many women I've gone on a date with that were downright beautiful but dumb as hell. And then I asked him for an example because why not? And he said, I'm going to read this how he typed it. And I hope everyone infers the irony from it. I went on a date with one of my friends from high school, seeing her again at our 5-year high school reunion. And she was beautiful. We went on a date that I could barely hold a conversation with her, not understanding a word I said. And I hope he speaks more eloquently than he types on YouTube comments, because I had to read that 3 or 4 times before I grasped it. And my biggest pet peeve that is a red flag is when people inappropriately use the word seen without being prefaced with have. I have seen. I've seen. If I hear you say I seen, I'm done.
It's not frosting. It's icing.
I seen. I'm not like a grammar patroller, but there's a few that really grind my gears. I seen is a big one. Birthday is a big one. What's the other one that drives me up a wall? I'm sorry, Mr. Futures as well. I know you're just trying to answer my question and now I'm shitting on you, but it was just funny the way that this worked out. Maybe you're just typing fast on your phone and you have big manly hands and it's hard to type in the little buttons, and I'm sorry. Shoot, I can't think of the other one, but there's another commonly like messed up a mistake one that drives me insane, and if I think of it, I'll say it later.
That's so great. Do we get any other feedback from the socials?
Oh, there was one from TikTok, which, okay, I intentionally posted this to say people who date women because I so badly wanted somebody that was a woman dating women to respond, because I'm like, there's got to be some different red flags that I wouldn't think of. And not the games, but the games, the dating games are probably different when it's for boobs. So I put this out there. This one girl responded a lot, like so many comments, and I didn't screenshot all of them, and I'm not going to read all of them because it was so long. And I think she was just trying to explain herself so she didn't sound rude, which, sidebar, if a girl texts you like 4 paragraphs to your one sentence, not good. But anyway, I'm going to call her TikTok Tirza. But she said that for her, if a woman describes herself as bisexual, it's a red flag. And she went on to say, she's like, I know that there are real bisexual women, but she said, in my case, every time that's happened, it's just been a straight girl who was maybe bi-curious and wanted to take pictures with her and sort of signal that they were bi or like try it out, and kind of use her like a trophy. And then when it came time to actually grow the relationship and have more true intimacy, she said they would always back out. Wow. Or they would ditch out or be flaky. So I thought it was really interesting. She's like, I know that they exist, but in my case, it has just always turned into me feeling like I'm getting used for somebody to do like a bucket list thing.
Wow, that's interesting perspective.
I know. I wish I could have gotten more feedback from more women, but I would have never come up with that myself, but I could totally see how that would happen.
For sure.
I'm assuming she's also probably younger and that it's a younger group of women.
Yes. There's a lot of background noise between our dogs and our babies. Okay, anyway. I got a few more that I thought of. Do you want to go onto that list?
Yeah, let's do it, dude.
Okay. Well, this is kind of going off. You just touched on this a little bit ago. You said if they are straight, having male friends could be weird. I said if she has a gay best friend. And when I say gay, I'm using air quotes gay because it's not all of them, just like this scenario with the girl. there's definitely gay friends who have females as their best friends, but I've heard stories about guys kind of pretending to kind of be gay or maybe bisexual just to be able to stay friends with a woman, but like they really actually want more.
Or the ones that are sort of intentionally metro seeming.
Yes. Yeah, so maybe you assume he's gay.
Yeah, he never says it, but he just tries to act a certain way to make you feel that way.
So it's not weird. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. One of my biggest ones is if she's mean to the server.
Ooh, that's such a good one. That goes for everyone.
Everywhere, all the time, all around. Any pronoun, don't do it.
That's a good one. If she has a true and strong Valley Girl voice.
Ooh, yeah. Which that leads me to just the whiny undertone in general.
Mm-hmm. Can I get a glass of water? But like, could we make it sparkling from the rivers of New England? I don't know.
It feels high maintenance and airheaded.
Mm-hmm.
And a put on.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of women who feel like they have to be dumb for men. Ew. Not the women. The whole scenario, if that bothers me. Okay. Shows up late without a heads up and offers no explanation when she arrives. So just like, I'm late, who cares?
I don't like that. That's disrespectful.
Exactly.
If she doesn't like your friends and doesn't want you to hang out with them. Just like you said, if his friends don't like have bad feelings about her, if she doesn't like your guy friends who are true, like healthy, if the crazy ones are crazy, that's different. But if you have like a really good relationship with your guy friends and she doesn't like them and she like basically stops you from hanging out with them, that's not good.
Yes, that ties in exactly with one I put, which is being jealous of you spending a reasonable amount of time with your guy friends.
Or like to do stuff that you like to do on your own even, maybe.
Just being jealous of any time that's not with her to an unreasonable extent.
Yeah. Okay, my next one is if she has a full face of makeup, and when I say full face, I mean a full caked on face, and you haven't seen her without makeup yet. A lot could change once you wipe those
weeks in.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, the bigger red flag is if there is no makeup in the morning, can she go run and grab a coffee with you?
That's a good test.
Because definitely some women just enjoy a full face of makeup and do a good job at it. So no judges. I can't do it. And in the South, when it's this hot and humid, I don't know how women do because it just feels like too much on my face. Maybe I'm not using the right makeup. But to me, it would seem like a red flag if you need that to exit your home at all. Barring some kind of majorly strange thing. Okay. Doesn't bring any money on the first date.
Yeah. The money piece is a big one.
Just the expectation. Like that girl from last week. What's mine is mine and what's yours is mine. Not good.
So it's interesting you say that because that will happen in real life situations, but also say you're online dating or you have a long distance relationship or you haven't met that person yet. And she's beautiful and you're falling in love and you guys text and talk all the time. You haven't FaceTimed and she starts asking you for money.
At some point
that is.
in some of those situations, I know that you're not supposed to blame the victim. But if you look in the mirror and what you see is wildly less attractive than the photo that you think you're speaking with online, I just think that you need to get a clue, which goes back to my earlier one, where if your healthy guy friends tell you something's wrong, because in all of those catfish situations, the guys were thinking with their PP and living on some kind of semen dream that it was real when all signs point to that's nonsense.
Yep.
If she's rude to your female friends,
Mm.
which should be a no-brainer. Now, granted, this caveat comes with your female friends need to be healthy and normal and polite to her, because there are definitely some scenarios where that may not be true. And I think maybe I was on the other end of this as the female coworker friend. So maybe if you have female friends just in general that you're hanging out with one-on-one, I could see that being a little weird. But if you have female coworkers and you guys work around each other and it's professional and you're friends and she's still weird about it, I feel like that should raise some questions. And my advice was, the first time that she meets your female coworkers, watch her. Because if she looks them up and down and is sizing them up, and if she singles out and is rude to the one that's the most confident and comfortable with themselves, she is likely a menace.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Do you have any more?
My last one is, you know me. My last one is, if you meet her and you're having a great time and all of a sudden you notice what's on your neck. Is that a larger Adam's apple? Maybe a stronger jawline? Maybe
Right. If we didn't have all of the information of what was going on ahead of time, that would be a red flag.
yeah. Only if you don't know what you're going into. Anyway.
Surprise, it's a PP. My last couple are gets angry / wants to fight when drinking.
Ooh, yeah.
Definitely buyer beware. If she agrees with everything you say.
Yep.
If she talks shit about your friends, we talked about that, but is jealous about you spending a reasonable amount of time with them. And then last two. One, if she expects anything uneven. So uneven investment of time, uneven investment of money, uneven amount of time away from each other with friends. Like she can hang out with her girlfriends whenever she wants and do girls' night, but you can't have a guys' night.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of those are major red flags. And then I don't know why we have to say this, but I feel like we do. If she's mean / bratty / disinterested in you.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't let her use you.
It's like those hot mean girls
Mm-hmm.
where they think that it's just they're doing you a favor.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're 80 and your nuts touch the water when you go poop and she's in her 20s, she is doing you a favor and you fucking deserve it. But if we're talking about just a normal age range and a normal dating situation, then that's not a good thing.
No.
People should be nice to you.
Oh my God. Those were good. Dudes, watch out there. Also, if we missed one, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. And also, lesbians, please give us more, because that was so fun to me. It's a perspective I don't usually get to hear.
Yeah, that is interesting.
I want to know if there's more to this bisexual thing, if other people feel like people are bisexually posing often.
So interesting.
Glad
we don't have to
I love conversation. This was fun because we had feedback from other people too outside of our worlds. All right. Well, until next week, happy spring equinox.
Happy.
I love you. Bye.
Happy. Love you. Bye.
Whee!